Well, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I have a faith journal process video for you. I am working through True North from By the Well for God, True North, Navigating Life's Storms. And this time around, I am actually working in a disc-bound notebook. I made a traveler's notebook size notebook here and bound it with some Happy Planner discs, and it allows me to have plenty of room for scripture writing, note taking, and then I have some watercolor paper that I cut down and punched holes in so that I could have a place for artwork. And so that's what I'm going to do now. I have already spent time reading, going through the scriptures, and then took some notes. So my artwork is actually, I think, going to be pretty simple today. We'll see how it turns out. But I will put you all on fast forward and we will get going. Let's go. This is the second time that I've used watercolor paper throughout a devotional, and it is a really interesting change. So this one is a bit textured on it, and so when I come to do blending like this, there is a texture that comes through, which I kind of like. It's a different change for sure. I am still loving these blending brushes. It goes on so smooth and it's easy to control the color. I don't usually end up with big blotches of color like I have in the past. So these brushes are definitely a winner. I will link them below if you are interested, but I am loving these. I wish I had a couple more so that I could have them reserved for specific colors and things like that. I also haven't had the chance to use this wave stencil yet, and it is gorgeous. So I'm coming in with Stormy Sky, so just a little bit of a darker blue. I love the gray that happens to be in this blue, and I'm coming through the stencil. Look at how crisp and clean. I was thinking of maybe doing a wave the other way from the top. The one wave just wasn't doing it for me, so I ended up just coming and flipping it over and kind of having another wave come in from the side. And I like how that ended up looking, and that's really going to be the background for my page, because now I'm going to use Tie the Knot, this new stamp set that is full of all of these ropes, and they are just adorable. And for me, these ropes on this particular page happen to be just a good reminder of how closely our words and our actions are tied together, or how closely they should be tied together. So a lot of times for me, for instance, I am one that, tries to teach my kids to stay calm in the face of adversity, to think through problems, to not immediately just start yelling and screaming. But when I reflect on the times that I'm having a hard day and how quick I am to snap at other people, especially my kids, then I can see that my words and actions are not lining up in that way. So this particular passage in James is one that I have gone over a lot of times as a parent in particular, because we really, really do have to be quick to listen to our kids and what they're actually saying. And sometimes it's more than just their words, and then processing. So when someone, especially a child, is speaking to you, the words might be reflective of something different. You might need to dig deeper. So that's why I think I need to process the things that my kids are saying to me, and then respond in a loving way. So don't jump to that immediate response. And for me, it's when I skip the processing part, when I just jump straight from listening to responding and I don't process, that is usually what gets me in trouble. So I like having the ropes on there as a reminder. And now I'm playing with some of the die cuts. If you saw my unboxing, I will make sure to link it. I fell in love with these little seagulls, and I immediately thought of them having a conversation. So that's why I have them grouped down there. They have a message in a bottle, and they are conversing. And to me, I'm like, they could be disagreeing. They could be having a little spat, and they are working through it in a calm, seagull-like fashion. So I just thought they were adorable, and I just liked the vision of them speaking to each other and talking to each other about the message that was in this bottle, and I thought it was a pretty good illustration for this particular day of the devotional. This is also my first chance to use the Naomi's number stamp set, and it is awesome. What a great size, and I love how thin they are. I'm able to stamp out 1, 2, 3, the 3 steps that are listed in James before you respond, and I just get a really crisp image. Love, love, love it. I do end up having to stamp twice. The watercolor paper just takes it a little bit differently, and that's okay. I'm getting used to how it works. In case you missed it earlier, the focus verse that I'm looking at is James 1:19 and 20. And it says, "My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires." And I love that in this passage, James is not pointing out that we should not get angry about things or that we should not fight injustice. He's just saying that we need to carefully consider our response. Don't have that immediate anger filled response, because your words will end up being lost on someone. And I feel like that's, something we need to take into account, especially during this political season where there's so much disagreement. Arguing over something is never going to get your point across. So really listen to all sides of a story and then process it so that you can understand where someone else is coming from, and so that you can compare it against the Bible. That's what this whole devotional is about, is always referring back to the Bible as your true north, as your compass to guide you, and not being swayed by other voices that really kind of dominate our culture, and then responding in an appropriate way. And that doesn't mean no response at all. It means responding in a godly way. And I think that's really important for us, all of us, to remember. So that's kind of the lesson I took from day 7. And now I'm just going to fill in just a little bit of journaling. Most of these days I've done journaling on my extra note paper, but I just wanted to fill in a little bit more here. So just adding a few things to clarify what the listen, process, and respond format, or what that order is all about. I am still really enjoying this disc format because it has really given me the freedom to study in some different ways, to take a lot of notes, and just to kind of simplify the artwork, because I think sometimes I get so caught up in the artwork or in creating a new and original page that I forget what the point behind it is. So I like simplifying it in the small version so that I can really focus on the devotional itself. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell notification. I have listed all of the supplies I use down below, so make sure to check those out as well. I hope that you have a fabulous day, and as always, keep it creative.